Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is me going Q4 of the bi-weekly contest 104, Power of Heroes. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord, and let me know what you think about this problem. So this one I took a long time on, about 18 minutes it seems like. The key part is just that, to be honest, well, for me, the key part was that I didn't have pen and paper, and I was trying to do too much in my head, and I clearly wasn't having it. And I was thinking about a couple of different strategies, and they just didn't really work. So the first thing to notice is that n is 10 to the 5th, right? What that means is that it has to be either linear or n log n or something, or basically it's something that has to be faster than n squared, right? N log n, and maybe n square root of n, maybe, I don't know, I didn't do the math on that one. But yeah, and then the other thing is that the number I is 10 to the 9th, so you can't really do anything to abuse the range of numbers. Sometimes you can, like if it's like in an extreme example, if this number is just 1 to the 10 or 1 to 10, then you can do a lot of funky things based on the fact that it's 10, right? But it's not the case, so we have to do something better. I think the key part is just, I think there are a couple of ways to do it, but the key part that I did is just to write out the formula slowly, right? For example, and I think once you do that, you kind of see the pattern. It took me a long time to actually, like I was trying to do it in my head, but I just couldn't visualize it cleanly. But yeah, but for example, let's just say we have a lot of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then here, so 1 is going to be 1 square, let's maybe write it this way to be clear. Oops, times 1, right? Because 1 is the min. And then what happens? And then you add this to the total, right? And then now, what's the 2? It's 2 to the 2 times, well, 1 plus 2, right? Because 1 is small, because these are the min numbers, right? Add the total. I cannot. And then 3 square. And for the purpose of this, numbers actually don't matter. Because you just kind of go from left to right. But yeah, it's 1. So 1 now gets interesting, right? Because it's now 1 and 3. What happens? Well, for the number 1, we have 2 degrees of freedom. What do I mean by that? Because 1, we have 1 space in between, and that could be of any like it could be basically 2 to the x. Right, and whereas 2 to the 1, because it can be in and out, right? So that's 2 possibilities. So this is 1 times 2 plus 2 that still only has 1 degree of freedom. It has to, there's no like choices, and then plus 3, right? Add to total. And then now 4 times, it's going to be what happens, right? Well, it's going to start like this, so then it's actually 1 times 4 plus 2. Well, 1 times 4 because now there's 2 to the 2 possibilities of the in-between stuff. And then now when we move to 2, it's actually plus 2 times 2, right? Plus 3 plus 4, right? Add to total. So that's basically how I did it, to be honest. I saw this and then you kind of see a pattern, right? Which is that, and it's not an obvious pattern to see, to be honest, but let's say you remove the last number just for now, and you can add it back in later. It's just that for the sake of pattern, you can see that this number is always just going to be this number times 2 plus the previous number, right? And you can kind of figure out why, because every time you move to the right, it creates 1 extra space for all these numbers, except for the number that started with 0 space. It now has 1 more space, right? So yeah, so that's basically the idea. And once you do that, then you can code it up. The coding actually is pretty straightforward once you kind of realize, yeah, so basically I just keep track of numbers. This is the last total. Let me bring it back a little bit. So for example, in my case, last is, this thing is last, right? And every time I just times 2, and then I add x to it, and then I make sure I mod it, of course. And then when I get back to total, I times x plus, or times last plus the extra x that we just are parsing now for itself, right? And that's pretty much it. I think one thing that I kind of skipped ahead a little, or skipped a little bit, is just by sorting it. Because by sorting it, then now you have the structure that you can abuse going from left to right, and of course, just doing more mod stuff. This is going to be linear time. Oh, sorry, this part is going to be linear time, but and this part, because it gets dominated by sorting, is going to be n log n. So it's going to be n log n time and linear space because of the sorting. Yeah, that's all I have with this one. Let me know what you think. The idea is just to write it out and draw it out, and I kind of took a while on this one in the virtual contest, but yeah. Let me know what you think, and you can watch me start with live on the contest now. I could probably it tells you I'll be sad, actually, to be honest, but that was probably borderline. I don't know. Let's see. 7 seconds. I probably could have optimized that one with prefix suffix. I was just lazy. I thought that would be fast enough. Anyway, okay. Okay. So numbers represent a string for some power of a group of heroes is defined as I sub 0, I sub 0. Max. Okay, so the power is the max square times the min. Turn the sum of all powers of non-empty. What the? Alright, mod. Man, that escalated quickly. Okay, I mean, I think this is a similar thing. It was this problem, right? Like, I feel like we did similar problems than this before. But I don't remember it offhand, so okay, so how many if I is the min, right? Is it easier to do the min or the max? Guess it doesn't really matter. Because it's the sum of all the suffix maxes. If I is the min, what am I doing? If I is the min, then if I is the max, then you just sum up all the things. How many things are there for one? How am I saying this? If I is the min, I mean, it goes both ways. It's like then it is the sum of 2. I forget. Though I mean, this is clearly going to overflow if I don't forget. So, but that never stopped me from being wrong before. Okay. How am I doing? Wow, people are done already. Okay, well, I guess this is a problem that I've done before, but I think I'm just blanking out today, and I don't want to look it up like how I've done before. Maybe that's what I've done during contests, but I might as well just try to learn. how many times is this going to be? Max. Yes, max. But then how do you add the sum? If 1 is the min, then two is the max. I mean, that's n squared. That's why I don't know. N squared is going to be too slow. Is there a shorthand for it? I guess it's just like some sort of prefix thing. I guess so. Maybe? Let me play around with it. Something like this, maybe. No, that's not good. Oh, yeah, right, because I'm multiplying. But actually, what I want is not that. Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's play around with it. Okay. So we have 1. Maybe you have 1. I need, in this case, it's not a prefix, or maybe a suffix. Be myself good at this. Is the summation of all the smaller numbers. That's not enough because there's a subsequence, right? Yeah, even though they don't say it that way actually, but oh, I see. Because then now it is not all. No, it is. It is the sum of all things that includes itself. I can't really do it this way. It doesn't scale the way that I'm doing it. This one feels so familiar, but I just am blanking out on it. I do negatives, subtract them out later. Huh. I think this is one where I'm supposed to use asymmetry, but I'm blanking out on it. Maybe I'm just too tired today. So one. Can I do sliding window of sorts? Right. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. So let's say we start 1, 1. So that's just 1. And then now we go to 2. 2 would then now times 1 times the number of gap. It's something like this, but not really. Right? Right, and then now basically something like right. And then now when we shift to the right, what happens? Maybe I have to do it another way. Something like that, maybe? Nope. Not at all. But it feels something like this, but not enough. Okay, so still type 1. Oh, because this is sum. Not quite right either. It's basically okay. So the idea here is that with 1 to 4, and then now we start at 1 times 1 times 1. That's fine. And then the last will be 1. Right? Yeah. And then when we shift to 2, then now the last will be 1 times 2 plus 2. Right? And then when we shift to 4, when we shift to 2, maybe it's off by 1. It's a little bit weird though. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that's why it's a little bit weird, but when we shift to 2, 2 will just have 1, but also have 2, right? Because it has itself. When we have 4, then the 1 has 2 degrees of freedom, and the 2 does not. And then let's say we have another number 10, then now this has 2 degree of freedom, and this has only, well, 1 degree of freedom. I see. What am I missing here? Something like this, maybe? No. What am I doing? Okay, so that's not quite right, is it? Basically, why is this off? What am I off by? Because when it gets to 2, 1 is still not yet. And 4, and then 10 and 10. I think I'm just off by 1 loop because I have to do it this way. Okay. Okay. I mean, I guess that I see why people got in like 2 minutes. I'm a little bit slow on this. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this, this review. Let me know how you did in the contest. Let me know about everything. Stay good, stay healthy, take good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye-bye.